I found her sitting up like she was still breathing. But she'd been dead for 2 days. 3rd floor. Apartment 3B. They called it natural causes. But I've been a detective too long to believe in coincidence. They say memory fades like smoke, drifting, curling, slipping between your fingers no matter how tight you grip it. But that apartment? It's still sharp. Like a shard of glass under the skin. Marlowe Apartments. East District. 3rd floor, end of the hallway. Apartment 3B. I didn't live there. God no. Place smelled like mildew and desperation. Peeling wallpaper, cracked windows, and a boiler that rattled like it was afraid of dying. But I'd pass it sometimes on late-night stakeouts, waiting on a mark across the street, smoking Camels and watching that hallway light flicker like it was choking on its last breath. The first time I noticed her. I didn't. It was the cat. Ugly little thing. Orange tabby with fur like chewed wire and eyes too smart for its own good. It sat outside 3B, unmoving, for 3 straight nights. Meowing, but not the hungry kind. It sounded anxious. Restless. Like it knew something was wrong. Tenants came and went. No one stopped. No one knocked. That's the kind of place Marlowe is. People mind their business, keep their heads low, and pretend they don't hear the cries in the dark. But the cat didn't leave. And I've learned to trust things that don't talk. I pressed the landlord the next morning. Sweaty guy with a gut like a beer barrel and eyes that kept shifting like he owed someone money, which he probably did. Told me her rent was always late but always came, like clockwork. No name. Just D. Artist. Quiet. Little weird, sure, he said, scratching the back of his neck, but aren't they all? He wasn't going to do a wellness check. Said he didn't want the heat. So I slipped him a 20 for the spare key. Figured I'd knock, and if she didn't answer, I'd walk away. She didn't answer. I didn't walk away. The door opened like it had been waiting. No smell hit me right away. That came later. At first it was just quiet. The kind that presses on your eardrums and makes your pulse feel too loud. The air was stale. Dry. Like a museum that hadn't had visitors in years. And then I saw her. She was seated in an armchair. One leg crossed over the other, like she'd settled in to listen to a storm. Chin tilted slightly. Sunglasses perched on the bridge of her nose. A record spun endlessly on the turntable, nothing but static and the faint scratch of a needle stuck in place. It looked intentional. Posed. Like someone had frozen her mid-thought. Her hand still held a pencil, resting on a sketchpad in her lap. Dozens more were pinned to the walls with tacks and tape. All of the same woman. Her. I checked for a pulse. Just to go through the motions. But I already knew. She was cold. Rigid. Dead for maybe 2 days, maybe 3. The medical part didn't matter. What did was the feeling in that room. It didn't feel like someone had died there. It felt like someone had been claimed. No signs of struggle. No needle marks. No bruising. Just stillness. And a sense that I was too late for something I never got invited to in the first place. The sketchpad in her lap showed a self-portrait, half-finished. You could see where the lines started to shake. Where the pencil paused. The expression on her drawn face was more alive than the one in the chair. I spent the rest of the day digging through her place. No phone. No ID. No family photos. Not even a receipt. Just signature after signature, D. Always the same. In the kitchen sink was a lipstick-stained coffee mug, still half full. Cold. The cat followed me out like we'd been friends for years. Didn't fight. Didn't cry. Just curled up in the front seat of my car like it knew we were both leaving something behind. Autopsy came back, natural causes. Heart failure. Nothing suspicious. Case closed. Move on, Nash. But some things you don't move on from. Not really. A week later, I went through my photos of the scene. I paused on the sketch, the one she'd been working on when she died. Something was off. There was a shadow in the background that hadn't been there before. Not a smudge. Not a trick of the light. A man. Wide shoulders. Hat low. Just enough detail to twist your stomach. And I swear to God, it looked like me. I haven't been back to Marlow since. But I pass it sometimes. That hallway light still flickers. And every now and then, I smell lavender and cigarette ash on nights when the city should be clean. They say the dead don't follow you. But they don't mention what happens when you follow them first.